What's going on, Ravens fans? Welcome into the Baltimore Ravens Rundown. We are less than 24 hours away until the legal tampering period in the National Football League starts. Less than 24 hours away until we'll be hearing some new news about some new Baltimore Ravens coming to the Charm City. We got all the latest news and rumors heading into that from ESPN's Jeremy Fowler. Before we get into that, though, I do want to thank each and every one of you guys for 46,000 subscribers. It is not lost on me how lucky I am to get to do what I do. I appreciate all of you guys who watch, who listen, who comment, who like, who have subscribed. It really means the world. We give you free daily videos to the best fan base in the National Football League. My goal, though, 50,000 subs by the draft. Less than 4,000 away from hitting that goal. Help me out. Subscribe if you have not joined us yet. We're going to start with Rashod Bateman because apparently via ESPN insider Jeremy Fowler, Rashod Bateman has been on the trade block. Fowler was talking about A.J. Brown and said Brown isn't the only receiver that is potentially available. Baltimore's Rashod Bateman, Los Angeles' Quentin Johnston, and Green Bay's Dontayvion Wicks have come up in my talks. And this is not the first time that Rashod Bateman has been made available by Eric DeCosta. If you remember, Jordan Schulz reported in the middle of the spring last year that during their pursuit of a receiver, the Dallas Cowboys also looked into a trade for Rashod Bateman. However, those talks did not go very far. Dallas ultimately struck a post-draft deal with the Steelers for George Pickens. Nick Harris, then, who covers the Dallas Cowboys on a day-to-day basis, says can't confirm. Bateman was an option that was sought out by Dallas ahead of the draft. Two sides couldn't meet on an agreement. So we know that Rashod Bateman has been put on the trade block before. Now, the only difference between this year and this report and last year and that report is that his trade value is far different, unfortunately, because Rashod Bateman was coming off of an 800-yard season in 2024, and this year he's coming off of a year where he kind of was disappearing the entire time. You kind of had to look around and say, hey, where's that one wide receiver that we just paid $12 million a year for? That we just extended his contract to a $12 million a year deal. Where the hell is he? Because he sure as hell isn't playing for the Baltimore Ravens. So his trade value is not near as high. But if I know Eric DeCosta, we all know that EDC loves his draft picks, so I would not be surprised one bit whatsoever if he's kind of shopping him around and say, hey, look, maybe I can pick up an early day 3 pick. Maybe if you're really lucky and some team's very desperate, you could pick up a late day 2 pick to try to get some of that capital back that you just sent away for Max Crosby. Obviously, you're not going to get a first rounder. You're not going to get anywhere close for that to Rashod Bateman, but Eric DeCosta looks at the NFL draft in the way of, hey, how many darts can I throw at the dartboard? Because the more chances I've got, the better chance I have of hitting a bullseye. Will the Ravens trade Rashod Bateman? Give me a yes or a no down below in the comment section. Coming up, do not go anywhere. We got some more buzz on Tyler Linderbaum. The latest from Jeremy Fowler on his contract situation. But real quick, a word from our sponsor. Before we continue on with the video, here's what I'm looking to trade on Polymarket. For tonight's Clippers game, Polymarket is giving Los Angeles a 43% chance to win against the Knicks, and I think that value is way too good. Kawhi Leonard is looking like the best player in the league right now, and I expect that to continue. For those reasons, I am taking Los Angeles at 43%. $100 wins you $232 if the Clippers take the dub. And with Polymarket, you can trade in and out on momentum shifts without getting blocked or penalized with in-game trading. Once Los Angeles takes the lead or even gets close, I can either ride it all the way out or I could sell early. For example, if you buy at 43% and sell at just 65%, you can snag a cool $151 payout. I'm keeping an eye on the second half run as Kawhi Leonard averages 14.2 points per game in the final 2 quarters, which is the 7th highest in the league. You can't do this with a traditional sportsbook, so get started today. Polymarket is illegal in all 50 states. Download the app now to get to the top of the wait list. The only way to do that is by clicking my link in the description and comments. All right, let's talk Buford himself, one Mr. Tyler Linderbaum. What is the latest buzz? As we know, today is probably the final day to get something locked down. If midnight passes, or I guess 10 a.m., 11 a.m. next morning passes, and Tyler Linderbaum is no longer a Baltimore Raven or has not been extended, I don't think he will be a Baltimore Raven for very much longer. Jeremy Fowler kind of agrees. He said last year the Ravens pulled off an extension with left tackle Ronnie Stanley 2 days before the tampering period. Can they pull off the same with center Tyler Linderbaum? He'll have the center market cornered. So if he gets to Monday, he will be tough to keep. The Raiders, Giants, Titans could be involved to some extent. The number should easily surpass $20 million a year, which, of course, as we've covered, would put him as the highest paid center in football, well above Creed Humphrey. And there's a lot of discussion out there that he would even go higher than $20 million, that it's going to be somewhere around $22.5 maybe even $25 million, which we have pretty much been reported and told. Look, Eric DeCosta is not willing to go past $20 million a year. I think the question that Tyler Linderbaum is asking himself, and we have to ask ourselves as well when it comes to his availability, is he going to take more to play on a bad team? Or could he pull a Ronnie Stanley, like happened last year, and take less to stay with a contender? Now, obviously, 2020 hindsight, did not really work out for Ronnie Stanley because the Baltimore Ravens ended up missing the playoffs, but I think you get what I'm saying. Right? You heard the three options right there. The three guys willing to spend a lot of money for Tyler Linderbaum are the Raiders, Titans, the Giants. Three teams that have not made the playoffs in a very long time. Let's just say that. Okay, I think I'm willing and able to say a very long time. I'm probably not wrong in saying that. In fact, I know I'm not wrong because I've barely seen them make the playoffs in my lifetime, okay? Probably minus the Giants. They've won a couple of Super Bowls in my lifetime. But you get what I'm saying. Historically, over the last 10 years, they have not been very good football teams. All three of those places, okay? Maybe Tennessee over the last 5. Regardless, I digress. Tyler Linderbaum's going to say, hey, do I want to make $22.5 to go play for Tennessee, go play for Las Vegas, go play for the New York Giants, and be out of the race by early December, or do I want to take a little bit less and, go play for a team that just traded for Max Crosby that has a Super Bowl goal in mind, brand new head coach, brand new everything? What's the percent chance that Linderbaum stays in Baltimore? Scale it for me, 1 to 100, down below in the comment section. If we get to 10 a.m. tomorrow, 11 a.m. tomorrow, and he has not signed an extension, I'm putting it at like 2%. But who knows? Anything could happen at any moment. So scale it for me down below. Ravens outpriced, unfortunately, on a top defensive tackle, it seems. I feel like offensive line has become their biggest need. And then I'd say interior defensive tackle. Then I'd probably say, wide receiver, cornerback. It's a toss-up. But we know interior defensive line is something that they need to prioritize in the draft and free agency. John Franklin Myers was always a guy I talked about. Unfortunately, he's probably going to be able to cost, or he's probably going to cost much more than Baltimore will be able to pay. He said, I continue to hear that John Franklin Myers will hit it big in free agency. He's the top interior rusher on the market, and the draft isn't overly strong at his spot. He has several teams in the mix. And there's a reason for that. It's because he's been so phenomenal. 7.5 sacks, 6 tackles for loss this last year, 26 tackles, 15 QB hits. He's one of the rare cases of a defensive tackle in the National Football League that has a keen ability of not just rushing the passer or not just stopping the run, but he can do both of them at a very, very high level. I've talked about John Franklin Myers a lot, and I think he gets overshadowed because he plays for such a good defensive line with Denver, but I also think it's a little bit unfair to him to just cast him to the side because he plays on a good defensive line. We got to realize he is one of the reasons that defensive line is so good, ladies and gentlemen. John Franklin Myers, guy I've talked about a lot. Fortunately, does not seem in the cards to end up in Baltimore, but hey, I would have said, hey, I think I'd rather have Max Crosby on this team than JFL. That's going to do it for today's show. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. This might not be the last time you see me today, okay? I am suspectant that a Lamar Jackson extension is going to hit at some point. Obviously, when that happens, I'll have it covered. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you got me on Twitter, on socials, and make sure you got those notifications on. We'll be live tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Central. Free agency starts noon Eastern, 11 Central. We're going to be live for probably 4 or 5 hours. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be breaking down all the signings, anything that happens in Baltimore. We'll have it covered right then and there. So make sure to join us, and we'll see you next time.